name is George Saradakis. I am an associate at Vincent Hirsch Financial Services. I'm also an advocate for financial education and financial literacy. Today we are going to kind of rank basic financial concepts and strategies that we might have heard either from other industry professionals, at work, from our friends, whatever it may be, at the gym. And we are going to kind of just provide a little bit of context as to what these things are, why they're important, or maybe why they're not so important. So we're going to start with S tier and start working our way down. This is actually going to be the first in a couple of videos, maybe 2 or 3 videos, kind of, again, providing that context into these rankings. So let's get started. First on our list, and these are in no particular order. First on our list is emergency savings. Emergency savings is a crucial element to providing financial stability in our financial plan. It acts as a safety net in the event of some kind of emergency, whether it's losing our jobs, urgent repairs, unexpected expenses, etc. Typically, we look to have about 3 to 6 months worth of income earmarked in emergency savings for these events. Employer-sponsored plans, retirement plans. These can either come in the form of a 401k, a 403b, SEP IRA, 457 plan, whatever kind of retirement plan that your employer may offer. The idea here is that it provides the opportunity for automated, kind of mindless saving for retirement. It comes right out of your paycheck. We don't even think about it, and it goes right into this account that's earmarked for retirement. We also get bonus points if we get a match or any kind of contribution from our employer. Now, the reason why this is so important is because we can kind of set it and forget it. If we defer 5% of our salary or 10% of our salary, or even if it's $200 a pay period or whatever savings number it is in frequency, it takes the guesswork out of having to write a check every month or manually make the transfer from our bank account into our our retirement plan. Roth IRAs, Roth accounts in general. Roth accounts provide the opportunity for tax-free withdrawals in retirement, provided that we take the withdrawals after age 59 and a half, and the funds have been sitting in the account for at least 5 years. Now, there are income limits that are imposed on us when making Roth contributions, Roth IRA contributions. So if we fall under that limit, we're okay. We can make up to the annual contribution limit. If we make above and beyond that, there are means and mechanisms and strategies by which that we can make alternative Roth funding options, but that's a whole separate conversation. What's been more and more popular in the past years is the opportunity for Roth options within our employer plans, and that just allows us the same kind of opportunity to kind of just put money into Roth money into in our 401k, 403b, whatever. Dollar cost averaging is the idea that we're making regular contributions to some kind of investment account and take advantage of different market levels. So we can invest when the money's up here, down here, up here again. The idea is that over the long term, we're going to catch an average of the market. When we invest high, when we invest low, it's going to kind of be like just a nice average over the long period of time. Kind of a cornerstone to financial planning, it's life insurance. Life insurance is insurance that is going to provide relief and funding, tax-free, federal income tax-free funding in the event of a premature death. It's pretty much there to ensure that our beneficiaries can kind of go about their lives without any financial concerns. Finally, to round out S tier, we have the idea of automated savings, bills, investing, etc. So again, this is the idea that we take the guesswork out of the manual side of putting money away or paying our bills, especially when life gets hectic. The last thing that we think about is, oh, my electric bill's due, or oh, my car payment is due, or oh, I got to put money in my investment account. It kind of takes that guesswork out. It allows us the opportunity to automate like $50 a week to a certain investment account, or reminder that our water bill is due on the 20th of every month, and it just automatically comes out. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. Plus, it's easier to adjust our financial behavior with this strategy as opposed to uh, paying our bills after we've spent a lot of the money. So it's a behavioral just as much as it is a just a life easing kind of strategy. So that rounds out S tier. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to A tier real quick, and we'll just kind of discuss some of the strategies and concepts that make up A tier, a health savings account or an HSA. And that allows for the opportunity for tax deductible contributions into the account, and to have the opportunity and the potential for tax free withdrawals for any kind of qualified medical expenses. Now, this can range anywhere from regular doctor's visits to getting a root canal and using the funds for that. It's kind of important to understand within the plan itself what is covered and what's not covered, and what is considered a qualified expense and what's not. So I would defer to the plan details for that. The other bonus with HSAs compared to other kind of medical savings accounts is the idea that it's not a use it or lose it. So you can continue to uh, continue to grow the funds within the account for 2, 3, 4 years. You don't have to worry about using it by the end of a calendar year. You can roll it into the next year, into the next year, and into the next year. 529 savings accounts or college savings accounts. This allows for the opportunity to withdraw tax-free dollars from the account for any kind of qualified education expenses. So the idea here is that we fund a 529 account, and the money in there is invested. So it has the opportunity to grow, and all of that growth, including the principal, can be withdrawn from the account tax free if we use it for a qualified educational expense, such as maybe it's tuition, books, room and board, etc. The cool thing about 529 is that you can also use it for any kind of secondary education. So it's not just post secondary, you can also use it for secondary education. Like if you have a child going to private school, you can use it for that. Now, 529 accounts offer higher contribution limits than another type of education account called a Coverdell. They offer the opportunity to put more money into the account. Coverdells have an annual limit of $2,000, at least as of 2025, and 529 accounts have an annual limit that's much higher, and then lifetime limits that are higher than that. So that reason allows it to be an A tier. Now, one more reason why I put it in A tier is because you have the opportunity to roll any unused funds into a Roth IRA, and that's subject to the annual Roth IRA limit, contribution limit for the beneficiary. So if we have a child who got a full scholarship to college, but they have 529 funds already in the account, you can take those funds, again, subject to the annual limit, the annual contribution limit for Roth, and move that money into a Roth IRA to start saving for the child's retirement. After tax non-retirement accounts, these allow investments to be invested and withdrawn before retirement. So we're not pigeonholed into having to wait until age 59 and a half. We can take it out in 5 years. We can take it out in 6 months, whatever it is. Now, the cool part about these types of accounts is that as long as the gain within the account is over a year, so if it's called, if these gains are what's called a long-term capital gain, so if my money went from 100 to 150, and that has been passed, that's been in the account for longer than a year, the gain has occurred over a year, then we can take the funds out, the gain out, at a capital gains rate. So capital gains tax rate is less than the income tax rate, which is great because we don't have to worry about paying more in income taxes than we have to. We're paying just a capital gains rate. Disability insurance allows us the opportunity to continue getting a paycheck. It's going to be a less than our typical paycheck, but still a paycheck nonetheless in the event that we incur disability. So if I am a doctor, and particularly I'm a surgeon, now I have this neurodegenerative disease and I can't use my hands anymore. If I have what's called own occupation disability insurance, if I can't do my job, I can continue to earn a paycheck. I think it's about 60% to 70% of my annual income through my disability insurance. And I just have to meet a certain criteria within my disability insurance to qualify for that. This is extremely important because in the event of a disability, we don't need to stress our emergency savings account while we are out of a job or while we're looking for a job. We can take the strain off of our emergency savings or other type of accounts. So this way we can allow that to continue to be earmarked for something else. And we're continuing our income through disability insurance. Finally, rounding off this list, we have the idea of paying off high interest debts. Should go without saying, we have stuff like credit cards, personal loans, etc., that can be in the high teens or even low 20% interest rates. It can become a strain on our budget. We want to make sure that we get these off of our plates as fast as possible and free up the couple $100s a month that we're spending on these high interest debts. So this way we can maybe invest more or spend more, or we can take the kids out for, we could put the money towards a vacation fund and take the kids on vacation once or twice a year. So it's extremely important that we pay off our high interest debts as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so this way we can deploy those funds elsewhere. So that's our A tier and our S tier lists. If I forgot something, please let me know. If there's something that you may not necessarily agree with or you want more clarity about, please drop that in the comment section. I, again, am a huge advocate for financial education and kind of providing a little more nuance and context behind some of these concepts that we might have heard of on social media or just out and about. So my name is Short Saradakis, and it's been a pleasure, and I will catch you guys next time.